jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
Yo, shout out to the hottest chat in the MF game. A-Side official. No negotiations needed, period. You already know WCS is the first in the building. Shout out to Toby Bartley, Mr. International on deck. I see you. What's good with it, bro? Big Blunts and Boxing in the building. What's good with it, Blunts? How you feeling, man? Arnold Brown on deck in the building. I see you. Salute to everyone that's en route. First of all, I want to address some information that the ones who follow knows very well, that the YTC consists of individuals that are not quite mature enough to basically leverage their maturity when something is right. They'll do it when something's wrong, but they won't do it when something's right. Depending on who dropped the news, they want to act like I'm going to stay quiet. Everybody knows that I said that Al Haymon is no longer with the PBC. I said he's no longer making the decisions. Now, just based off the strength that I mentioned that in reaction to these videos where they was up there, kept on talking about Haymon, they still over there talking about Haymon booked the Toyota, Haymon this, Haymon that. I put it out there that he's no longer making the decisions. He's no longer a part of the regime. That doesn't mean he doesn't have ownership or like he was before. It's just he's not in there with the decision-making process. He's not a part of the logistics. You know what I'm saying? He's not in rotation. And people find that hard to believe when he's been there since 2015. The 2020, and you got these people that's freaking complacent. They unwilling to jump outside that mold and learn something new. That's what they say about dummies. You know what I'm saying? Dummies will show you the reason why they are considered to be such, because they refuse to be open-minded and receptive to new information. So they want to keep the old information and continue to just talk and talk and talk. And we all know boxing consistently change. I put out there Al Haymon was not making the decisions. I put out there that it wasn't PBC's fault as to Gervonta Davis' situation with the Toyota Center. I put it out there. It wasn't. But you still have individuals that select to keep on half stepping forward, going with what they believe is right, unwilling. See, I can listen to somebody that I'm not cordial with. And if they say something that makes sense to me, like I've said before, I will give them credit. Call it what you want. It might be my travels in the military and who I had to deal with, at such a young age, individuals that I was placed around that I had to learn quick. It may be that. It may be the structure. For real. But for what I found out on this social media is that people will hear you say something and they have these defense mechanisms up. They have all these barriers up that, first of all, they don't like you. So they're not going to listen to what you have to say. And I put it out there. And now all of a sudden, I hear Showbizz talking about, Al Haymon's not there no more. He's not boxing. He want to try to put it off on Andre Ward. Now, how all of a sudden WCS can put the information out there that Al Heyman is not in the decision-making process. That just goes to show you these cats be in the motherfucking background, yo. They be back there with their legs crossed and they be twiddling their thumbs and they be having the headphones on listening. And then they say, oh shit, he said that. Let me go check. Let me go check that. And then they put it out. Showbiz gonna try to play. He did play himself, but maybe he didn't know. Let's just give him the BOD, benefit of the doubt, that he didn't know that I already put that out there. Maybe he did know and didn't want to let people know who put it out there, because this is no clout for me. The only way that someone believes they have clout is that they're overly invested in thinking that they reside on a higher level, a higher pedestal, a top tier than what they actually are. There's a lot of cats on here believe in clout first. They believe, based off the numbers. But I'm saying to myself, you and I are able to access the same platform. You're no better than me. But WCS put the information out there about Al Heyman. And all of a sudden, I hear Showbiz. Well, let me let you listen. It's no knock on Showbiz, but I'm definitely going to let it be known that he's trying to put it out there that all of a sudden 5 hours ago. Now, I put this out there way before now, but he just released and said this right here. Tune in. Hold on for a second. And this is Showbiz, the adult audio. There's no knock on Showbiz. I'm just going to correct some things. You know, maybe you did, maybe you did, maybe you didn't. But I'm going to set the record straight.
Coming from music, getting in the box, like, doing this anymore.
Be marked though, and a lot of money, and maybe made a lot of people a lot of money too.
Hold on, bro.
He made a heavy.
Somebody coming from music. I just thought he was doing a good job. I don't see him around anymore. I don't think he's doing this anymore. And I can understand.
Mike said he don't see him doing it anymore. Look. Hey, hold up, dog. Hold up. Andre took Mike Tyson to say, I don't think he's doing it anymore. But WCS, I didn't see this. I put it out there because I spoke to the people who knows when I was doing this Toyota reaction. I put it out there that Al Heyman is no longer in the rotation. But you still have other people out there that's willing to keep on talking the same talk. And I put it out there, Al Heyman is no longer in the picture. No, I didn't say I don't think he isn't. I said he isn't in the rotation no more. But hold up for a second. Let me check something out right quick. So, pretty much from what I'm saying, hold up, let me go back to here.
Hold on, bro. I just stepped out the shower. No, damn the morning after. The morning after my ass, bro. The morning after my ass. Damn that. This is bigger than the morning after. Al Heyman's gone. PBC, we've collabed. We're collabing, bro. Y'all ain't reach out to the bed.
You saw he said Showbiz, like I said, no knock on Showbiz. He said PBC, we collab. Y'all didn't tell a brother. So look, Showbiz didn't know. None of these other cats do. They still keep on talking about Al Heyman. But did I not put it out there? I told him he wasn't in rotation no more. His execs are the ones, because I was explaining the whole situation. I even let it ride. I didn't even I didn't do a reaction to the first one immediately because I just wanted to hear everything they wanted to say. I wanted to see if they actually had the information about the Toyota Center before I put it out there. No one came with anything because people love talking about they said something, but they can't produce the receipts. This dude over there still talking about Al Haymon booked the Toyota Center and he ain't gonna make no mistake. They unwilling to learn, bro. They are so complacent on believing nothing is never going to change. When Fred was up here telling us about the issues, the financial issues, y'all have to understand one thing. It's people on here to get mad at you for the simplest stuff. We're not talking about stealing money or stealing food, breaking into their homes or any of that. It's individuals that'll be mad at you based off who you support or what you have to say about a certain individual that they support. Fred, back in the day, was talking about the money issues. Everybody said he was just hating. He just hating. 2024 clearly proved, looking at the boxers who was provided the release to go fight on other promotions such as Riyadh season and everything. They wasn't released from their contract. They was just provided permission to go fight elsewhere to get paid. Now, was it their prime A1 fighters? Of course not. Errol Spence wasn't provided that opportunity. He hasn't fought on Riyadh season. The Charlo brothers, they haven't fought on Riyadh season. You know what I'm saying? It was only select few names. But anyway, it's okay because I will remind people that I tried to tell the public that Al Haymon wasn't in rotation no more. But Mike Tyson, once again, says, I don't think he's doing it no more. This is not the first time I put it out there that Al is not doing business. I was in conversation 4 or 5 days ago, and I try to tell people, I say, hey, I'm just gonna let you know, you keep on mentioning Al Haymon, he's not the one who's making the calls no more. But I just want to speak on a little bit more with this Toyota Center shit with people, because it's certain individuals believe they know everything about the procedures and the protocol, but they can't produce no documentation. And look, if they deserve the presence of me getting one of the hitters on the phone and dropping a link for them, see, it wouldn't turn out too good if they're going to cut them off. Because if they're in the position to know this information and they're working closely and they have communications and all that, nobody from the YTC is going to direct them with any questions, and they cannot provide any documentations, nor can they provide you a numeric lineup, bulletized points on how to book a center. When you tell them that somebody over there, which operates off employees who are human, and there's no way that they can make error, it's no way mistakes can be made, then you have to ask yourself, now I need somebody else. I need a psychiatrist. I need someone that can talk in between time. This person continued to talk and yell and scream as if that's providing the general public with knowledge. That's not giving us the knowledge, bro. It's amazing. Like, people will shut you down, but they just don't know what travels you've been. They just don't know how you got to the point of, like a lot of people that I run into this in this chat. You learn they freaking backstory. A lot of people don't care about people's backstory, but everybody's backstory, people's backstory is intriguing if you never met them before in life. They can be bullshitting you or they can be telling you the truth. But the easiest part on how someone can assume in the worst way, the most negative period, that you're not a good listener, that you're not that smart, is being involved in this cloud, this social media cloud all the time. All these topics that precipitate on here in social media on how people act if you support this topic or support that fighter. You still have people out there. I told them how the Toyota Center was messed up, and they can't even fact check me. They can't fact check me, but they call themselves unwilling to accept. They can't fact check me. They can't go behind me and debunk it. They just don't want to mention your name. And that's fine. Because I'm one of those person that understand. I know what I told you all, and I know it to be true, and y'all can't debunk it. All y'all want to do is keep on going with the same information that is absolutely misleading, wrong. You want to try to be ex parte to provide the people with a lopsided point of view, which you're not making any sense. A debate is not saying, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. Stop it, 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 stop it. You're not saying anything. You just don't want to hear what anyone has to say. Now, the reaction that I did previously, and I wasn't being sarcastic about it, a missing person report at all. I felt it was genuine. I felt it was light. I felt that the information that was being given in response or rebuttals was perfect. But I want to touch bases on what I put out there. You have individuals that's unwilling because they supposedly don't like WCS, right? If I say something, they can't fact check it. And it's outside their bounds, outside the scope of their reach for them to get information. They're just going to leave it alone and keep on dabbling in the previous information that they was going with. That is wrong. They're absolutely wrong. And the wild part about it, I debunked a lot of shit because if I wasn't nowhere, shape, or form right, those same sources that dude said he had, all he had to do was call them up and put them on the live stream and say, hey, explain to the people what exactly happened. I mean, if you want to do that, we can all be on the same live stream. I get one of my contacts. I want to call him a contact. I'm not going to call him a source. Call him a contact. I know for a fact my contact is solid. Been in the game longer than anyone else's contact. For miles on this YTC. And that's true words. It has nothing to do with freaking this, that, and the other. It's just people you can communicate with that you know. People never want to just provide you that halo of understanding because they look at you in a negative way. They feel like, man, I don't like the reaction videos. I don't like how he checked me on this. I get it. It's hard to get over, but I put it out there that Al Haymon is no longer in rotation. So people, do me a favor. If you hear Mike Tyson's up here getting credit from Showbizz, right? And you heard W out there already. And I haven't even seen that video. And I spoke about it before Mike even mentioned it. Mike Tyson, the legend, comes on here and say, I don't think he's in the business. I don't think he's doing that no more. All of a sudden, people want to say Al Haymon ain't in the business. But look, I put it out there already. I said he wasn't making decisions. He wasn't in rotation. And these dudes continue to stick as if people are hating on. Give it up already. Carlos on deck. I see you. What's good? Give it up. The OG Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz, and more. What's good? Give the shit up, yo. That's all I'm saying. Give it up. If you want to cite, cool. But I will remind you. I will continue to remind you. And no matter how many days pass by, you can say what you want. Oh, Mike Tyson. Hey, I put the shit out there that he wasn't in rotation making decisions. Now, this is another thing, right? Check this out. I can even go a step further. They haven't been able to debunk what I said about the Toyota Center, right? But peep this out. If I'm not correct on that, and you think he still is, and I say he not, tell me who's processing the paperwork. Tell me the name of the people the person who's processing the paperwork, who's decision making. Hey, any one of you cats out there, if you can tell that to me, I'll lay low. I don't think you can. Tell me who the one who was in communication to try to set this fight up with Tank at the Toyota Center. Tell me. Because that's just another piece of gem that I have. Tell me, since y'all know so much and y'all think just going into a debate for minutes upon minutes upon minutes, and y'all don't want to listen to what I was telling you. Y'all not at a level of maturity, man. They say the older you get, the more wisdom you should have. Wisdom involves listening. A lot of you don't want to listen because the person that you're listening to, you believe that you want to keep the blockers up because you don't like that person. But when that person potentially may be providing you information that you have to selectively choose whether to decipher right from wrong. So if you think it's wrong, you have to prove that it's wrong. If you think it's right, well, go around and make some calls to see if you can get some verification. That's all I'm saying. But you have too many black content creators around here keep on mentioning Al Haymon, and they've seen how 2024 was sputtering. They seen how it was sputtering when it came to boxing over there. They wasn't getting that. Hey, when WCS put it out there about them not having a budget, they were still believing that Al Haymon PBC was getting a budget. I put it out there that it's no budget. It's going to be a little shaky, but they still, they with Prime and it's $1 billion deal. Say who? Who $1 billion deal? One of the hardest parts about being a grown adult is being in a situation where I say this all the time, like when you have to deal with people from all around the world, some of them, a lot of them at points in your life, you're not going to like. But that doesn't mean y'all may not communicate about a common topic or a common subject. That may happen. The best thing you can do is listen. And then outside of the presence of them being in front of you, you do your research. That's how you can determine, okay, if so-and-so's bullshit me or not. I have to do my research. That's what I need to do. I need to do my research. Research can be done in private. I put on my description, fact check it. They don't want to fact check it, y'all. Hey, they moving around and they silent on WCS. They don't want to mention WCS because they feel like, damn, if I do, it's going to be one of those deals where he's not going to match my energy. I'm not going to sit up here and yell and scream, nigga. I'm not going to do it. I just want to get down to the points. Over talking someone does not provide you the check mark that you're winning in the debate. Saying wrong information, putting it out to the public, and someone is correcting you right there on the spot. I find that to be beneficial. Why? Because you don't allow them to go too far into pouring that out and flooding the public with that contaminating pollutant freaking narrative that you're trying to saturate those listeners with. You have to stop it and nip it in the bud and put them dams up. You have to put them dams up immediately and stop the motherfucking flow. Say, hey, hold up. That's wrong what you just said. How? And you prove that it's incorrect. They just overtalk you. That's not debating. That's not debating at all, bro. You're just arguing. Debating, stay on topic and talk about what's the topic involved. All the pieces of evidence, the deductive reasoning that you're trying to present to that one or two or whatever people that's in the debate. That's all you're trying to do. Present your evidence. Based off your formula of reasoning, you present your evidence, and it's up to them to say, okay, are they of equal knowledge than me, or they have more knowledge? If their knowledge supersedes mine, then they will provide me with the information to debunk what I'm talking about. It's that simple. Fred put this information out there, when I say Fred was saying a lot of things that was truthful in the past, people were so frightful. And you know, I had a moment, right? Check this out. This is some deep shit. I had a moment, and I'm not, communicating with Fred at all like that. I don't have nothing bad to say about the dude. But check this out though. He ain't never did shit to me. But I remember when Fred Hawthorne was putting this information, Barbershop Conversations was basically voicing information that was a bit harsh about Al Haymon, right? Look, no civil, nothing, no cease and desist, none of that. He was being very raw and uncut about information he was saying about Mr. Haymon, right? People was going in, saying all sorts of damn insults, aspersions about Fred, putting all the information out there, how they disliked him. And I had a moment, right? I thought about it. I say, they're just going off Fred having a bad moment with PBC to the point where he's no longer in the inner circle. But Fred was deeper in the inner circle with PBC than anyone else I can name on here on this social media. Fred was pretty deep with them cats. I know a person that knows Fred, and he don't know. I know that person, and I know, and this person is in deep with the PBC. So I had a moment where I looked at it like, I listen and pay attention to the YTC on how they want to protect their king, their God, their savior, their Lord, Mr. God, Al Haymon, right? And I said to myself, no matter what Fred is telling people, they're unwilling to listen. So I was like, what about slavery? You go back to slavery and you look at my people who may come across somebody to say, hey, I have information that we can go this way at this point in time, this, and this. And this is going to happen. And the amount of people that may not want to participate. Why? Because they're stuck. They're anchored in and they want to believe one way. This is permanent. This situation we own, no one that I consider to be on the same level as myself as a slave can tell me something to direct me into the better way of living. All it takes is for me to take a risk. And yes, I believe Barbershop Conversation was taking a big risk, but the risk he was taking, it was clear understanding to him that he was understanding he was knowing of the information. It just wasn't just garrulous talk. It wasn't just banter that he made up. He knew about the information. But I thought about it. I said, imagine trying to get all these blacks to actually, believe something back in the day. And they're so hell bent on what they already know. I mean, just what they actually has acclimated to, what they're used to, their basic daily routine. And you have somebody that's trying to tell them, hey, that's not exactly good. This and that is going on, but this is the way you can get out of it. This and this, but it requires us. Do you imagine? Can you imagine how many passengers? Because that's what they was called, passengers. Okay. When it came to Harriet Tubman and the way she was able to move those slaves, they was called passengers. And do you know that some of those passengers that stayed, those slaves that chose and selected not to be passengers, they stayed there in those areas because they didn't believe that Harriet Tubman can take them somewhere else. They didn't believe in her cause. But they never saw those slaves again. All they know is they was provided the outlet to go. They selected not to, but they never saw them passengers again. And yeah, Harriet Tubman had an amazing story to that journey and what she was able to produce. But what I'm saying is, it's almost like definitely the YTC. Well, you have individuals that's in a situation where they know certain people to be of hierarchy. They consider no way around it. Everything runs through that person. Everything goes through everything. Now it's at a point, right? Well, he's no longer the one. That's the proven authority. He's no longer the one that's actively engaged in the business. The information is put out there, but yet we still have these single driven, these single cylinder type minds that's unwilling to be receptive to things change all the time. Even in royalty, anything where you have a group of people and you have a group of people of power, and you have that sits at a crown, a hierarchy, a higher point of ruling. And those individuals, if they was told so-and-so is no longer in power, see, since they can't see Al Haymon visually, and they're only been talking about him, Fred is one of the only ones to actually see Al Haymon. But even with barbershop conversations, seeing Al Haymon, when he began to talk, they didn't want to respect the fact that the man was around those type of people for quite some time. So whatever happened with the fallout, he was one of the only individuals that can speak on it. But certain individuals never wanted to respect it. They'll come over here and say, WCS, no, don't wait 10 years from now to understand what I was telling you about another individual it's been even longer with barbershop. Don't take 10 years from now to say, oh, I know. Oh, now the documentary coming. Oh, okay. It's people that talk about Al Haymon and them potentially wanting to see the man all throughout this boxing talk on here. Now it gets to a conclusion. You know what I'm saying? It gets to a departure and egress where Al Haymon is no longer in the position. Accept it. Why do y'all believe that no one else could be in a position where they can basically do the same thing? It's a lot of cats on here that don't even know how the chain of command works and what Al Haymon actually duties are and what his actually duties are. It's certain cats on here believe that PBC is a promotion and some that don't. The ones that'll tell you that PBC isn't a promotion, they really don't want to respect. If TGB is promotion, why don't say TGB then? Look, right? They will sit up here and emote on the man every single time that you attempt to say that Al Haymon is not a promoter. He ain't no promoter. Yes, it is. It's an Aliak. You know, he's a three-headed horse. He's an advisor, manager, and promoter. But didn't he have to go to court for that? I mean, that's on Wikipedia. I mean, the whole thing's out there. They went to court, they sued, and this, that, and the other. I mean, isn't that what people want to throw up there? Aliak. You can't be all of them. Man, you know Al doing all that shit. Now Al is not in the picture like that. He's not in the frame like that when it comes to the movement. And I'm asking you individuals on this YTC to grow the fuck up. Stop acting like that was your stepdaddy and you seen him once a month and that's all you needed because he brought you 2 suckers and a freaking Twinkie. And he said, hey, another 30 days, I'll be back. Say my name. Al Haymon. One more again. Al. I mean, come on, bro. They act like he dropped in once a month and gave them a hug, picked them up, threw them up in the air, gave them the 2 lollipops and a Twinkie, and goddamn disappeared. They keep on acting like Al Haymon, they stepdaddy, bro. Like no one else knows. If anyone would knows to speak on it, would be barbershop. I don't know why people always over here trying to act like they know what he knows. when it comes to that situation. I don't care how you dislike him. You never met the people he met over there at PBC, and you don't know the people he knows. So if it came down to a situation where it was a problem and he was speaking on it, those on the outside that are infatuated with never ever seeing Al Haymon to begin with, they're mad and angry. They want to become freaking the little small army of rebels. They want to be advocates for Al Haymon. They never seen the dude, yo. They just over here and they're able to see the help. They're able to see the associates, the staff, the employees. They don't see Al Haymon at those fights. They don't see Al Haymon at those fights. Now, that may have been a person or two that has seen Al Haymon, right? There's very limited footage of Al Haymon being out there in the general public. But what I'm asking you all to do is understand that things have changed. Just like tomorrow, the presidency, the commander-in-chief is about to change once more. Get it in your thick heads, man. What's wrong with y'all? Get it in your head that a person like me is not on here to become the best YouTuber. I do like going in here talking about combat sports, but some of you all are basically not understanding that I already did a live stream on how many hours you put into it. And out of all the hours you take to do a live stream, why don't you do this? The information I just told you, that was a big discussion about Tank Davis and everything. Why haven't y'all fact checked it and called me and said it was incorrect? Why haven't y'all did? Is it outside your scope? Is the base level employees not giving you the information that you want? I mean, I'm just saying, fact check me if I'm wrong. Just don't say it didn't make no sense, because you don't have the resources. You don't have the accessibility or the POCs to reach out to certain people and try to prove me incorrect. I'm asking, prove me incorrect. I gave you a receipt. Also, I provided you information, and y'all still want to think that it was about the money. No, look. When WCS was talking about the money, them being with Prime, they would say, man, Prime is this. Yes, Prime has its entire infrastructure and who they are. You know what I'm saying? Jeff and everybody else, they have that set up. But when it comes down to the arrangement on how PBC was receiving 128 million for Showtime and Fox, we have individuals that's talking about I was the one that was releasing Showtime was gone. But yet what that same person wouldn't tell you is that previously to the beatdown July 29th, if by chance that one particular fighter would have went into the 12th round and it wouldn't have been so one-sided, then Showtime would have stuck around. You know what I'm saying? Showtime would have stuck around. But since Crawford went in there and provided us with the massacre that he did, Showtime said, hey, I'm gone. I'm out. Because for a long time, Showtime had been losing money over there. But when you talk to these individuals on the YTC, they always talking about, oh man, these fighters over at PBC, they thank Al Haymon, and they just getting paid, and they're so well off. And maybe so. At that moment, they was making enough money to take care of their bills. But that doesn't mean if they made 15 million, they receive 15 million. These individuals could receive a small portion of upfront money, and then the rest would be paid out through a duration of time. Whatever is the contract says, a period of time, whatever that period was. They wasn't getting all their money to whoever it was. Not everybody was getting all their money. But I'm just saying, when you had a budget like that, and you're no longer receiving a budget, but you still have the same people up here talking about the fighters are getting paid well and they're doing just fine, this and that. But yet you see fighters who are signed with the PBC going over there to Riyadh season. You see fighters going over there to fight on other promotions. And these dingleberries continue to talk that everything's cool and they're putting on the best cards. Bro, you're very deranged if you're thinking that PBC had an outstanding 2024 annual calendar when it comes to fight cards. Acutely deranged. But it's okay though. If you choose to play the character, play it well, play it famously, because I just don't sit up here and want to be first and put out false information and shit like that. So, like I said, it was a point in time where the slaves couldn't believe there was a far out. All you had to do is take the risk. That was a place where you can be free. I'm pretty sure it was plenty of time. People took risks. Some of them made it, some of them didn't. But when it got time to recognize that the slaves was free, you still had some that wanted to stay on the plantation. They didn't want to digest the information because it didn't seem real. They had to see somebody else that was a free slave, when in reality, that free slave would never go back to the very same place for which he was dreaming, wishing and praying that he'll never be a part of. It just takes one time for him to leave and be free. You think a free slave is going to end up, hey, I'm free now. I'm doing way better. Let me just take a walk back to the plantation and see who else still out there picking cotton. That is stupid. A free slave ain't gonna sit up there when it might be some slaves still under the ownership of that particular person. They're not going back. Hey man, I put in all that work, but I gotta go back and see what Johnny up to and Lulu. I want to see if they still out there picking cotton. I know my way out now. Even if I get captured, it will break loose again. I mean, come on, bro. I'm not trying to make light of it, but that's just kind of what I see out here on the YTC. They hear information, and they got to hear it from a human being that they deem they have selected to be above average. They got to pick somebody that's a celebrity. And Mike Tyson didn't even say he was gone. He said, I don't think he's doing the business. I don't think he's doing the business. He ain't doing the business. No, he ain't doing it. And then they run with it. Oh, Al ain't with the business no more. But I put it out there. I said he's not doing it. And these cats can't tell you who is. Tell me who is. If you get it right, I'll let you know if it's right. Tell me who is. Tell me who's running the show, so to speak. One of the moving parts that's running the show. Explain and let me know. I appreciate it. Let me get back to the chat, man. Shout out to JD with the $2. I mean with the $5. Well, that's euro, right? What's the other word they use? Drop it in the chat, man. JD, what is that considered? It's not $5. It's something y'all said the other. I forgot it. Out of respect, I wanted to make sure I get it correct. Let me know, JD, what it is. Shout out to Swat Jones in the building. What's good with it, brother? Sir Sing in the building. I see you. What's good? G5 Gave in the building. Salute to you. I see you on deck. Facts, though, up until the current movement, 2024 belong to the zone. Yeah, man. These cats over here are unwilling to say that things have changed. People sit up here and talk, and they'll be so vocal about change. But change starts to, actually provide you with what you've been asking. You see movement. You see action. But they don't want to accept it. No. My eyes playing tricks on me. My eyes playing tricks on me. That can't be true. This Al Haymon situation is a perfect example on how you have individuals that is stuck. They keep on talking about the same thing over and over again. They're up there thinking that Al Haymon had something to do with locking on the Toyota Center just because it was the first time. Like in one breath, they place him so high. I'm talking about the highest of the high, yo. He's up there with a constellation that you have to have breathing apparatuses and everything to stay alive. They put him that high, y'all, that you have to take a rocket ship up to have a little small convo with him. But then they believe that he's doing employee type task. They have him all the way up there in the stars, but he's making phone calls to the Toyota Center, y'all. He's doing employee level task. How does that work? You're trying to tell me since 2015, he doesn't know how to delegate? He doesn't know how to delegate to those who are working with him. He doesn't know how to provide information for those tasks to be carried out. Man, come on now. Stop playing. Stop. Don't put Al Haymon up in this hierarchy position, but yet act like he's still doing foot soldier work. He's still doing working on the average level of employees, the entry level. Don't act like Al is up here doing entry level stuff. The man has individuals that's working for him that can handle that. Obviously, right? We do have a moment where Errol Spence did mention that when they was talking about this fight with him and Crawford, he said he didn't want nobody else to touch it. So that just goes to show you from prior to in 2022 to this point right now, there's been changes. Now there's been changes in time. There's been changes in weather. There's been changes in fights. I'm just saying there's been changes in calendar dates. There's been so much change that happened from when Errol Spence told us that Al said he didn't want nobody else touching that fight to now not being considered a decision-making or a proven authority. I'm going to tell you another thing. I heard that Al is pretty much on his way out of boxing. Take what you want with it. On his way out of boxing. Some people, they'll sit there. No, Al just having a moment. It's 2025 in a month plus. 2025, goddammit. Al Haymon just fooling y'all. He gonna come back and now he's gonna start showing up the fights and he's gonna be right up there ringside. And that's gonna bring more freaking consumers to the arena because Al Haymon is now showing this. No, it's not gonna happen, bro. Just remember I told you. He's pretty much moving himself. He's in the process of moving himself out. Up until the current moment, 2024 belonged to the zone. Yes, for sure. Golden Boy, they put on some good fights this year. And not to mention Top Rank. Top Rank has still been the game and also consistent with ESPN. ESPN has showed no signs of severing ties with Top Rank. Now you have Queensberry. There's also going to be beneath the zone matter. That's huge. That's huge. That's big time. I mean, the owner of the zone is super rich anyway. Euro. Shout out to JD for the €5. if that's the proper way to say it. The €5. Thanks for supporting the channel. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you. One love to you, brother. Much appreciated. I had to renew my DAZN account 5 times this year. I only paid pay-per-view twice for PBC this year. The zone put on this year. I'm just saying. Yeah, the zone prices increased, but I will say this. It was some solid cards, even though, you know, the track record of Eddie Hearns was a little bit rocky. You know what I'm saying? Gravel-esque, off-road. But I mean, they doing big things, man, by bringing Queensberry over there now. Big things. But you still have people over here, you know, talking about one person. You know what I'm saying? Even when they didn't have a network, even when Showtime left, they act like, oh, we don't know why they left. They would not sit up here and say that Showtime has lost money or Showtime felt the need to walk away because the money that they was losing, they said, hey, we can just go back to what we was doing previously. You know what I'm saying? With television. We're going to walk away from boxing. I mean, it's not like they're the first ones. Didn't HBO do it? Now Showtime. I mean, it happens for a reason. And then you have other players to try to come in the game. So let's see how long Prime is going to be a part of this. But see, let me break this down to you. Just like they believe that, you know, Al Haymon can't, no one else can do his job, or they believe that he's running around trying to micromanage everybody. They won't say that about Prime, though. See, no one's going to sit up here and say that Jeff is going around micromanaging the very same qualified people that he pay money to make sure his company is running smoothly and effectively. He want to continue to be proficient enough to earn and continue to be rich. You know what I'm saying? With several I's and C's and H's. But one thing that Prime did when they attached themselves, they didn't provide no annual budget for them to just filter out the way they see fit. They don't get no, they're not getting an annual budget. Now, I'm pretty sure some people that talk about the cost, the budget of certain events that they're putting on. But when you have Rick Glaser, who have been very vocal about Al Haymon's dealings and how he squandered, allegedly, certain monies and all that. I mean, Rick, why hasn't there been legal action against Rick if he was wrong? You have more people crying and bitching about what he said than actually proving if it was wrong of what he said. If it was goddamn wrong, hey, where's the repercussions at? He's been very vocal about it over and over and over and over again. Tweets. But yet people get mad because it's Rick Glaser. No, try to prove him wrong. Why haven't they been able to do it? Because it's outside their reach, people. Now to Inouye, right? Per boxingscene.com. Boxingscene.com has put out an article about Inouye. And let me bring that up right quick. I mean, Boxing News 24. Let me bring that up right quick for you. And, you know, once again, you know, WCS was speaking about the fighters that need to make these changes to be the next, you know, high paid fighter. Who is it going to be? You know, I was talking about how the black fighters need to really pay attention to what's going on. You know what I'm saying? At one point in time, I felt that Teofimo Lopez had what it took to be the next in line. Imagine WCS not being absolutely wrong about that. And the reason why I don't consider myself to be 100% wrong, because I said, hey, Teofimo has the personality and good for the camera. He knows how to do it. Regardless, people are going to be put the blinders on and just totally try to discard what I'm saying, all because of his racist comments. I'm talking about the fighter in line to make that money, right? Anui has taken a step with his sponsorship over there with Riyadh season. All right. And that's huge. That is freaking huge, y'all. Hold on for a second. That is huge. Now Tio is aligning himself with Canelo Alvarez. That's huge. Because though people are, paying attention, and rightfully so, paying attention to derogatory, racist, insensitive comments that he made towards black people, he's now over there with Canelo Alvarez. Now, just because you over there with Team Alvarez doesn't automatically guarantee you're going to be the next in line to make the big paychecks, because he was just on a passion tour telling the fans after he had made those racist comments that he hasn't made a freaking $1 million yet in his lifetime. Now, this guy right here, of course, top 2 pound for pound, okay, depending on where you go. Naoya Inoue, or some call him Inoue, in a way, signs massive deal with Riyadh season, okay. Inoue has reportedly signed a massive $19.7 million sponsorship deal with Riyadh season, y'all. The undisputed super bantamweight champion, Inoue, 28 victories, opposite 0 defeats, and 25 hosted KOs, can end up in some interesting fights if Turki Al-Sheikh can encourage him. Yahoo Japan is reporting the signing by 31-year-old Inoue, who signed a lucrative deal with Turki Al-Sheikh. Inoue is scheduled to defend his undisputed title against Sam Goodman on December 24th at the arena in Tokyo. Turki will want to put together great fights, and it would be excellent if he could choose the top fighters from 126 to 130 and 135 for Inoue to fight. It says, in quote, Inoue is the best. Pay attention and don't cough. Make sure you're not drinking anything. Kind of takes me back to what Bob Arum said about Vasily Lomachenko. Inoue is the best and strongest boxer of all time. Al-Sheikh said in a statement, he has a keen interest in Japan and the Japanese market. I hope he will become a good and important ambassador of Saudi Arabia and Riyadh season. Did y'all see that? The best and strongest boxer of all time. Of all time. I wonder, do the stock goes up for Stephen Fulton now? Louise Neary. I wonder, do they stock go up since Turki Al-Sheikh has deemed Inoue is the best and strongest boxer of all time? You know what I'm saying? It goes on to say Inoue needs to take risky fights. I agree. This is the author. Turki hasn't said whether Inoue would be competing on his cards in Riyadh, but that would be why he would sign him to a lucrative deal. Inoue is defending against Goodman next, but that's not a high-profile match that will attract interest worldwide. I agree. To get fans excited about Monster Inoue fighting Riyadh, he needs to face someone who will make him the underdog for a change. He always been the favorite in his fights, and that's boring to fans because there's no drama involved. And that's the same argument I use with Canelo Alvarez, people. You know what I'm saying? That's the same argument I use with Canelo Alvarez as of late. None of them are coming in there where they're equal or greater than Canelo in the eyes of the consumers, in the eyes of the boxing critics, the writers. It says His Excellency needs to put Inoue in a situation where he won't be the favorite. which would be against Gervonta Davis, Shakur Stevenson, and Vasily Lomachenko. It's not good enough for Inoue to fight Junto Nakatani. Inoue will be the favorite in that fight too, and that won't get fans outside of Japan excited. I say throw Inoue in with Tank, Shakur, and Loma. Let's see how he does against fighters that he'll be the underdog for the first time. Inoue's signing could mean that he'll fight in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, rather than elsewhere like the U.S. fans want to see better fights for him against fighters from the featherweight division. But Inoue hasn't made the risky move with his career. If Turkey can persuade Inoue to face more compelling opposition at 126 or 135, that would be a great way for Japanese star to earn the $19 million deal. The criticism that fans have given Inoue is that he fought opposition that wasn't considered elite, and he's chosen to stay in a weak division at 122 rather than move up to featherweight to face better fighters. People want to see Inoue fight elite fighters like Gervonta Davis, Rafael Espinosa, Nick Ball, Robeisy Ramirez, and Brandon Figueroa. Hey, that was a pretty nice article. You know what I'm saying? That's him with Turki Al-Sheikh. But listen, my take on Inoue, I like the guy, but it would be great if he's able to punch his passport a little bit more to the U.S. I remember I said that a couple of times before, and people want to get so irate over defending these foreign fighters. They demand tenfold from fighters within the U.S. footprint, but you have fighters from foreign countries like Inoue that barely even speak, and they just sitting up here and look. It's almost like they're Japanese Antifa. Like, I mean, I'm talking about like they would go far and beyond, man, to freaking dress up in camouflage and go out there and fight battles for him on this YTC. Look, he's deemed the monster without monster competition. One of the weakest undisputed, yo. Look, he had one of the weakest undisputeds in both divisions, bantamweight and super bantamweight. There's no knock on who he fought. I'm not calling the opposition. I'm talking about, were any one of them on the pound for pound list? You know what I'm saying? The only one that stood out to me was Nonito Donaire that went 12 rounds with Monster. That's it. We're talking about, other fighters that no one was really looking. I mean, yeah, Maloney, they get their opportunity. Paul Butler, okay. And then Stephen Fulton wasn't considered a superstar. He did have some pretty decent fights, and I give him credit for that. His fight with Angelo Leo, his fight with Brandon Figueroa. I mean, I give him that, but he wasn't deemed a superstar. When he was heading over to Japan, they saying that he was just going over there against Al Haymon's wishes. That's all they said. Oh, he's going against Al Haymon's wishes. Al Haymon don't want him to go over there, but he was going over there to defend his titles. And yes, it's the worst that he ever looked. The worst he ever looked. And then the other guy who beat MJ, his name was freaking Marlon Tapales. 37-3. I mean, did anybody believe Marlon Tapales was going to beat Monster? I mean, I know I have a point. But come on, man. They calling him the Monster without facing monster competition. He's already 4 divisions, 2 of them undisputed. I mean, when is he going to move up from 126? He about to face Sam Goodman, and nobody's requesting this fight. Nobody. Nada. Who's requesting this freaking fight? Nobody, yo. Nobody's looking and saying, oh, my God. Inoue is facing Goodman. Wow. No, they're not saying that. I'm just being honest. They're not saying that, yo. But shout out to Inoue. That'll be a good fight, JD. That'll be a good fight. Inoue versus Nick Ball. That'll be a good fight. Because one thing we know about both fighters, they will stand in the pocket and trade. And that would be a good, entertaining fight. Stylistically, of course, dress it up on both sides. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'd definitely like to see that fight. Let's talk about Floyd Schofield right quick. I heard a lot of people up here talking about the man's dad, right? Look, this is my take on Cigar Talk. He's did some pretty decent interviews. But as a black man, right? As a black man, they always say as a black man, because black people, we supposed to have this level of mutual understanding and respect when it comes to certain, you know what I'm saying, just certain things you experience in life, right? And this is one of them. I think they call you Najee. I don't know him per se. I'm not saying I don't know him because of what he, like I said, he's doing his thing, right? I don't know him like that. But you had a man, a black man, and his son on your platform. You had an older father, older than you there, Najee, older than you on your platform, young black son, his child. And you showed us, the public, that people that come on your show is expendable because you're willing to put them out to pasture for any type of controversy. Floyd Schofield's father, it don't matter how much he says. It don't matter how he looks when he said. It don't matter how he sounds when he's speaking on it. You read a comment from the chat when that man had his black son present, and his black son has a black child. So that black older gentleman that you had on there is a grandfather now. And you had the audacity to ask that man to read a comment from the chat about being a homosexual. You know what I'm saying? The most foul shit somebody could do is to basically emasculate that man who's a grandfather and a father to his son. You read a comment and showed us that you don't care about no boundaries. You just want somebody to gravitate to controversy. There's no way in hell you ever should have read that comment, bro. That was straight up disrespectful beyond. It's not even a depth deep enough to know how many generations you affected by allowing that comment to be read, regardless of what you think about him. Regardless of what you think, that was inappropriate for that comment to be read while you have a fighter that's up there who has a relationship with his father. And also, that fighter happened to be his son, who also is a father. His son is a father now and had his first kid. And you sit up there and read off a homosexual comment just because somebody wants to, who doesn't care about anything, you want to read and someone, are you gay? Man, that's despicable, bro. I'm not going to tell you, you know, what everybody else say. They'll say, I'm not going to never watch you. But look, I was tuning in, you know, here and there. But that shit right there just make you want to turn and skip over without even missing a breath. Because you had a choice, bro. You had a choice to tell them, hey, that's inappropriate. But you read the comment, man. You have generations in front of you with the same skin color you do. And you're going to embarrass that man. At least you attempted to. You know, his younger son might have felt, look, I would have been embarrassed if someone in this era would have read a comment off to me like that. I would have been embarrassed with my son next to me. Not only does it affect his son, but in the process of learning as young as he is, and now he's a father, he's looking at an older black man in this game of boxing that's interviewing his pops. He's looking at it like, damn, this dude is older than me, and we can't even respect each other. Like, that's my father, I'm his son, and I'm also a father, and that's my son. Fortunate for Cigar Talk, his son was too young to even hear what you read off to his grandfather. But I know you don't look at it like that. It's all about views. And you really have to be very, very cautious about getting too close to these cats that's willing to do anything for the big moment. Oh man, if I get this viral moment, that might be my ticket to bigger and better things. Once again, you had a father who had his son who's a father, and who has his son, his first kid, I believe. I don't know what gender it is, but the son that you seen right there next to his father is old enough and competent enough to understand what you just did and how you embarrassed them, just based off mannerisms and behavior. I'm just saying, I thought it was uncalled for. I thought it was over the top, purely disrespectful, and had nothing to do with boxing. This shit had nothing to do with boxing. We always take the time to say, if we have a problem with one another, my people, a bitch ass nigga, suck my, that's all they say. Emasculating freaking insults. But what's more emasculating is the point where you have a whole couple of generations in front of you, and you sit up here and ask that man a disrespectful question in front of his young son. Nigga, do you not grasp the magnitude of what you did? That shit was uncalled for, bro. I'm serious. That was disrespectful, man. You know what I'm saying? Fuck everything that, everybody want to say about all that shit, man. That's disrespectful, bro. That's disrespectful. You sat up there while that man had his son in his presence, and you didn't give a fuck about asking him a question, and how disrespectful it was. You showed him that, hey, I'm willing to disrespect your pops in front of you. He may have, and which he should, he may have a certain level, high sense of respect for his father that you on the outside don't have. But you just show him as a stranger, you did what strangers does. You sit up here and just put him in a situation, an uncomfortable situation, and ask him that crazy question, bro. Damn. His son just had a baby. And at one point in time, his father got a woman pregnant so that he can be on this earth. And you up here talking about homosexuality. It's the worst, yo. Real talk. That was the fucking worst, yo. That's pathetic. It was the fucking worst. Any one of you bitch ass niggas want to go over there and run and tell, talking that bullshit, talking about, oh man, WCS was saying this and that. You take your little hoe ass over there. Because they'll be the same ones up here thinking that shit cool. And then when they get offline, they say, you know what? That was fucked up what he said. No, you correct them there on the spot. That shit wasn't cool, bro. And I don't even know the Schofields like that. But you have people who act a certain way, and if you feel they act a certain way, catch them face to face, catch them on sight. That's all you got to do. Talk to them one-on-one when you see them. I'm just being honest. That was straight up disrespectful, man. For real, right? Shout out to Bullet. Palutis on deck. Salute. See you. I see you, man. What's good? Schofield versus winner Cepeda Tevin Farmer. we're gonna get to Schofield, who I think will be a good next up. You know what I'm saying? We got to talk about what's been floating around here on social media with Schofield based off his performance. But I just wanted to lay that out there. You know what I'm saying? I understand we have moments where, yeah, it's going to get a little smoky in the room. But that right there was just uncalled for, man. That was one of the most disrespectful live streams, really, when it came down to black people disrespecting one another. You know, bitch ass nigga and all that shit. No, sucking D. Them niggas are talking about shit they fantasize in their younger lives. I'm talking about a man who has a son in the sport of boxing, and they are a black father and son team. And this guy brings up a comment about homosexuality. If blacks isn't emasculated enough already, there's certain etiquette and protocols you should have enforced in place to tell that person, no, I'm not reading that. That's disrespectful. But obviously, it's all about getting the views and the viral moment to say you was the one who did it. But yet, these guys up here trying to say what they do for the community and all that. What did you just do to Floyd Schofield? What did you do for him? Disrespecting his pops and disrespecting him at the same time. Both of these cats are fathers. You disrespected 2 generations of fathers on one question. Just because you felt like it was okay and you didn't say, okay, well, I don't feel no type of way about them. I don't know them like that. I mean, it was just fucked up. Homosexuality, gay. You kind of call a man a sissy in front of his son. That was fucked up, yo. That was fucked up, bro. That shit was fucked up. Shout out to Blue Hustle in the building. What's good with it? Salute to Jay in the building. What's up with you, man? Oh, some straight up whole ass freaking maneuver right there, man. Cats don't respect principle no more, fam. They just don't. That's why I stay in my lane. Everything funny nowadays with men. I agree, bro. People just think the worst shit is just meant to be put into a set, a stand-up set. Let me get these jokes off right quick. But just to access, right? You have access to, you know, look, I could say this too. Like I always mention about these fighters coming on here. You got to be very careful coming on the YTC. Very, very careful about coming to the YTC because you might run into some bullshit like that. So you take risks playing around in the YTC. That's why I call it the septic tank of media. Because you run into bullshit like happened to the Schofields. You run into stuff like that. You got to be very careful and do your homework. And then also when he heard it, I'm surprised he didn't lose his freaking mind and cuss the brother out, because you're talking about a entire live with the participants, the attendees are all black. And you emasculate the man by asking him a gay question in front of his son, who he was part of reproducing, the reproductive process back in the day. And now his son has grown up to a point where he's in his 20s. And you disrespect him in front of his pops. You disrespect his pops in front of his son. It's just uncalled for, yo. And then you'll get niggas up here talking about, oh man, that's soft ass shit. Hey, when I was growing up, respect was everything. I guess niggas just play around with respect today. You know what I'm saying? They treat it like it's just bubble gum. You know what I'm saying? They just toss it in, that shit run out of flavor. They say, no more respect from over here. Just toss it out into the motherfucking curve or something. Put it up underneath the desk or whatever. It's just stupid. But speaking of Schofield's next opponent, possibly, I know he's talking about Shakur Stevenson, right? And you know, based off his performance last night, something during the interview that went down when the person automatically just went out of everything Floyd Schofield did. He went the distance and all that. Out of everything, they talk about the knockdown. And I don't know who that was. I don't know if it was his pops or not, but they say it was a slip. And I like Schofield for this. It shows he's thinking for himself. He's his own man. He said, no, it wasn't a slip. He hit me in the back of the head. It was a knockdown. You know what I'm saying? He took ownership of being knocked down during that fight. But now, if you're asking me, is he ready for Shakur Stevenson? I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say so. He needs to fight somebody else that's up the chain of command or something. You know what I'm saying? Really. I don't think he's ready for Shakur. It's just right now, the way Shakur defense is, how crafty. It's just too many ways Shakur is gonna land those shots, counter shots on freaking Schofield. It just seems like it'll be a nightmare, yo. It'll be an absolute nightmare. Look, I don't think he'd go the distance with Shakur, man. And like I said before, it's good to see him switch hit and all that, but there's certain things you need to do to make switch hitting effective. You know, just not do it out of nowhere. You know, why are you switch hitting? At one point in time, it's this content creator said the only reason Crawford switch hit is just to distract his opponent. That's it. Because they said Crawford, when he switches, he don't do anything when he switches. They say he don't do nothing when he switches. But anyway, Schofield at 135. He need a name that's pretty good. I know he's been talking about Abdullah Mason. Abdullah Mason is a tough fight for anybody. Floyd Schofield is a tough fight. It's not like he ain't tough. Floyd Schofield is tough. But when he get in those wars, it kind of take me back to what I used to see with Jaleel Hackett. But Jaleel Hackett, he been in the gym, dog. I mean, the way Jaleel Hackett fight now, I like that style better than the way he used to fight. You know, especially in the amateur, taking all that punishment and what I heard about in sparring. It just seems like Schofield is just all about a freaking OK Corral firefight, dog. You got to get some discipline. You got to know how to goddamn be durable in those fights. Not getting these cuts that take forever. You know, you don't want to look like you was a freaking goalie for professional hockey. And they say for you, no, you don't get a mask. You don't get a protective shield. You know what I'm saying? When the puck comes, use your hands. You don't want to be the fighter known in there and just to bang out like that and take that punishment. You young, bro. You don't need any more serious cuts. Like you and Jaleel Hackett wear those sparring, wear those cuts. And not everybody's skin is the same elasticity. You know what I'm saying? And not everybody's the same. But you know, fighters who bled a lot, you know what I'm saying, they had all that scar tissue there. It's never good. And you're only in your 20s. So you're going to get bigger fights. You have to work on your defense and you have to learn how to stay consistent with the jab and working your combinations off the jab. Stop getting into brawls with these guys and go in there and think about putting on a masterful boxing display. You know what I'm saying? Show them what the sweet science is about. You up there going tit for tat, punch for punch with Renee, and he hasn't been stopped, was just ill-advised. It was foolish. That's why your dad laid into you after you thought the stool was there. Bro, you can't make those decisions like that. You got to stay the course and box and make it look easy, because that's what Shakur is going to do. One thing I know that holds true with Shakur Stevenson, he say, no matter what y'all say, I'm going to go in there and fight the way I want to fight. And the way he want to fight is the best way he see fit in getting the victory. And I believe him 100,000%. He's going to box and fight the way he deems that's suitable for him to take less punishment as possible. Right now, Schofield just have 1 or 2 more fights, man, or fight one of the other up and coming risers. But not Shakur Stevenson, man. Don't just go up there and give away your O. I mean, you have to look at film, bro. You have to be smart about it. Just don't think it's hate just because I'm saying, bro, you have to be smart about it. Just think about it, bro. Just think about this shit. Can you really go 12 rounds with a fighter like Shakur and maintain that patience? Now, you lost your patience against a fighter who was coming forward and was ready to bang out with you. What about Shakur? Shakur is very patient, very tactical. He's gonna get you frustrated. He's gonna stab you with that jab to the body, to the sternum. He's not gonna rush it. And you're going to keep on getting touched and touched and touched to the fact that you're going to try to run over there like you sprint out. You do this blitz where you throw your combinations. Shakur is going to light you up with an uppercut, dog. Shakur, he's very astute. He's a very astute boxer. You need to work on patience in boxing, bro. Because you're going to need that for Shakur Stevenson. Look, Shakur's not going to go in there and bang out with you. He's too intelligent with that. It's not the fact that he's not going to bang out just because he's not a power puncher. His whole motto is hit and not get hit, swim and not get wet. You don't know that. You love to swim and get wet and stay under. And right when you're losing a little, oxygen, go up. You know what I'm saying? Fight for your life. I mean, you got to learn some patience, big dog. That's all I'm saying. Learn some freaking patience, man. If you don't have respect for yourself, then you won't have respect for anyone else. No doubt, man. It's hard for people to have respect for even people they don't like. The respect is that you have boundaries. That's the respect. You know what I'm saying? You can have respect for people that you don't like. It's called boundaries. You don't allow yourself to get closer, to interfere, or even have the energy that they putting off. You know what I'm saying? Respect them enough to stay and keep proper distance. Know when to shut down the conversation. Know what conversations you choose to engage or not. You know what I'm saying? It's that simple. I'm over Kid versus Shakur though. I don't know. I mean, why you want outside of him being ready? I don't know, big dog. I don't know. I don't know, man. I can't call it there. Jones, I can't call it, bro. I don't think he's ready, bro. So you know what it is considered to be where you want something to happen and the circumstances is gonna go all bad. That's called a sacrifice, Jones. You know that. It's called sacrifice, bro. That's a sacrifice. Why go in there and sacrifice your I'm not saying Schofield a punk. But in order for him to go in there with Shakur, that a masterful technician, bro. Dude. Can he land? Of course. You know what I'm saying? Of course. He said that Shakur doesn't have power. But when a fighter has been cut a lot and how Shakur pop shots you like a sniper, it's a possibility that you might cut. You got 12 rounds, 3 minutes per, 1 in between, 1 minute in between. When you're in there with a fighter like Shakur Stevenson, man, that shit can seem like 15 rounds, bro. Especially if you at a point where you're like, damn, I think I'm doing everything right, but damn, I'm still getting countered. And then you get frustrated, fatigued, flustered, all those F words start to come in, and you're saying, damn, I don't know how to beat him. And your dad over there saying, what the fuck are you doing? God damn, fight him. Yeah, when you try to fight Shakur, that's when he disappears. And he come back. Hey, gotcha. You know, he done hit you with another counter shot. Shakur's a master at work in that ring. Everybody know that. All he loved to do is get off Twitter. All he have to do is get off Twitter. But that's been the riddle for fighters with Shakur. Who can crack his defense? Kid gonna press. Hey man, I agree with you on that Schofield's gonna press. But are you gonna press and make it effective with present pressure? What punches? What do you have in your arsenal that's gonna keep Shakur honest while you're pressing him? I mean, what you need something to keep the man thinking. Just like Edwin De Los Santos. When he was closing distance, yeah, that shit was playing in Shakur's head that, hey, he knocked out El Rayo. Shakur didn't approach the fight with Edwin De Los Santos like, oh, he got knocked down too. He was like, okay, this dude has power. Can Floyd Schofield get that respect from Shakur Stevenson and have him in there thinking? Does he have it in him to put the radars up of Shakur in that fight? Schofield not ready. Should fight Cambozo or Frank Martin. That'd be a good fight. Frank Martin, that'd be a good fight for him. See, I totally wasn't even thinking about Frank Martin. I mean, that's how he just disappeared off the scene. You know what I'm saying? Frank Martin would be a good fight for Schofield. It'd be a tough fight too. Ooh. Cambosis, yes, former champion. That'd be a good fight. That'd be a good fight. Yes. Shout out to the OG Mr. Golden in the building. What's good with it, bro? Shakur's powers is defense and IQ. Good point, man. Good point. Good point. Good point. Good point. No cap. I really can't figure out what kid can throw Shakur that's going to throw him off. I can't lie. It's going to be a tough fight for him if he does get it. You know, it's going to be a tough fight for him. But I think Frank Martin would be a tough fight for Shakur, Schofield, anybody. Now that he's been in there and got baptized by Tank too. I mean, who is he going to fight next? That'd be a good fight, man. As far as styles, that'll be a good fight. That'll definitely be a step-up fight for Schofield if he stepped in there with either Cambozo or freaking Frank Martin. That would be a step-up fight. Real talk. Real talk. That'd be a good step-up fight. I agree. But hey, shout out to the hottest chat in the MFN game. Salute to y'all. This is the final hours. You know what I'm saying? These next 24 plus hours is going to be interesting, y'all. We're about to go into a whole nother presidency. I don't get into politics, to be honest with you. I will ask you to basically, you know, allow me to get that vote of tuning in to the channel. I would appreciate it. You know, make sure you cast those ballots. You know what I'm saying? When the notification pop up, tune in. You know what I'm saying? Tune in and support the channel. I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? It's fight week. Who would I be if I didn't conclude this Monday by saying that we have fight week in Philly, goddammit. We have Jerron Boots Ennis going against Corinne Jukasgan in a rematch. And also we have Jess Rodriguez in there against, damn, I can't believe it. It just dropped in my thought process. Damn. Tough fight too for Rodriguez. Damn. Cuevas. It's not Cuevas. Let me look it up right quick. It just slipped my freaking mind too. Yeah, Pedro Guevara. Pedro Guevara. And this dude has 42 victories, 4 defeats, and 1 draw, y'all. This is going to be a tough fight, dude. He's 35 years old, Mexican fighter. Definitely going to be a tough fight. And he's been in there with the likes of Maloney, Carlos Kudras. Okay. He lost to Kudras, but Jess Rodriguez beat him. Who else he's been in there with? This is going to be a good fight, man. This is going to be a good fight. But this fight week over there in Philadelphia at the Wells Fargo Center, you know what I'm saying? Jess Rodriguez, a young 24-year-old southpaw, you know what I'm saying? Undefeated, 20-0, 13 knockouts, going in there against a fighter in Guevara who has 47 bouts, 42-4-1, 22 knockouts. Tough fight for Rodriguez. It might be some knockdowns in this fight. Tough Mexican fighter. And this is what we look for, man. This is a tough fight. You have, Rodriguez has been in there with who he's been in there with, the names that he's been in there with. You're talking about the guy who's stepping up for the WBC Superfly title. The first time he gets to step in there with a guy who's been in there with some big names, who's been at the top stage. You know what I'm saying? Even though Guevara, has more fights, the better resume is Bam Rodriguez. That's the wild part about that. He had a lot of his fights in Mexico, Guevara. A lot of his fights in Mexico. And then one in the UK. So he's been over there Mexico hopping. And this is his first fight in the US. And that don't mean anything. I'm just saying this is his first fight in the US. And they've been really running up his freaking record until he starts stepping there with some pretty decent names. Let's go and try to see. In 2015, he fought 3 times. 2016, he fought 3. 2017, twice. 2018, he fought 3 times. 2019, 3. 2021, twice. 2022, once. 2023, twice. So this is his 3rd fight in 2024. This is going to be a good fight. This is going to be a damn good fight. I ain't going to lie to you. Salute to my Georgia Bulldogs. Yeah, shout out to the Bulldogs, goddamn routing. Shit. Hey, shout out to them Dirty Birds, man. Even though I already put it out there that I'm a bandwagon rider and I'm not a Falcons fan. But goddamn it, I am tonight. Shout out to the Atlanta Falcons for going in there, stumping out them Dallas Cowboys, goddamn. You know what I'm saying? The Dak Prescott was seen on the sideline saying, "We suck." And people making a meme out of that, talking about we. They more so saying him. But hey, the Falcons went over there and we wouldn't be denied, and we wasn't going to be on the losing side. I mean, the winning bracket of the Dallas Cowboys. We went there and handled business. You know what I'm saying? We went and handled business, yo. Man, stop it. Stop it, OG, man. I'm not even mentioning that dude. But hey, shout out to everybody. I appreciate y'all for pulling up as always. Continue to support the channel. And, I'm still waiting on the fact checks, man. I'm out.